Today on the Trent Out Loud podcast. Today, the feds released pictures of Diddy's Miami mansion raid, and let me tell y'all, them pictures were juicy. There was ropes, chains, lube, and more high heels than Magic City. Now, here's the thing. A lot of those high heels were not in boxes, and we couldn't tell what size they were. And if you ask me, a couple of those high heels looked like it was a little bit bigger than your average female's foot. Nah, Diddy, you ain't fooling me. Not all those high heels were for Cassie. We know you freaky, bro. Yesterday, one of Diddy and Cassie's favorite male freak-off workers took the stand, and he went by the name The Punisher. While on the stand, it was revealed that he had a book talking about male performance issues. How you have performance issues and you call yourself The Punisher? Bruh, you should have called yourself The Quitter about The Punisher. You ain't punishing nothing. Oh, sorry guys. I'm going to need a couple of minutes. I'll get it right back. What are you talking about? The Punisher. What up? It's Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, depending on what time zone you're in, it's Wednesday night or Thursday morning. And to my Thursday morningers, y'all know what's up. We are one day away from the weekend, and y'all boy is in a good mood. All right, I have a great show set up for you guys today. I have 3 lead stories. We're going to kick it off by talking about Chris Brown is now a free man. A judge in the UK has granted him bail. Also, feds released pictures of Diddy's Miami mansion raid, and we actually get a little bit more details on the raid. And trust me, it's juicy. A psychologist also testifies to back up Cassie's testimony and explains why she stayed around with the diddler. In quick Diddy news, we're going to talk about the Punisher and performance issues. Meek Mills speaks on Diddy's parties, and Diddy could lose his entire $400 million fortune. In regular quick news, we're going to talk Elon Musk, Tory Lanez, Megan The Stallion, an update on the New Orleans jail escape, Harvey Weinstein, Claressa Shields, Remy Ma, and Big U. As always, we're going to close out the show with comments of the day, social discussion of the day, question of the day, and a little bit of sports news. Y'all know what time it is. Turn your TVs, your radio, your devices up. Let's start this show. Let's go. All right, you guys, I have a little bit of breaking news. It's really like exclusive news, not breaking news. A couple of people, as you know, I have a couple of people that are inside the courtroom, and I was told that today, while the jury was out, the prosecution brought in somebody that is going to be a surprise witness, not on the witness list, and the government has said they had granted them immunity. Prior to them, the government bringing them to trial, they had said that they were going to plead the fifth if they bring them up on the stand, and they don't know if they were going to testify or not. And apparently, the judge has granted them permission to put this surprise witness on the stand, and the government has granted them immunity. Y'all know what that means? That means that this person knows a lot about what's going on, because to be granted immunity means that you did some crimes, probably with Diddy, and you're here to snitch and talk about Diddy, and the government is like, yo, we're going to grant you immunity, meaning you won't get any jail time, you won't get in trouble, in exchange for your testimony. It's not really on a lot of major news sites yet. I don't know why people are not talking about it. We'll see what happens. I just wanted to let you guys know about it before it hits the big newsstands and blogs, etc. Y'all know these mainstream medias don't want to let y'all know everything that's going on out here. People are trying to control the narratives. I just wanted to let y'all know that this is for sure something that happened, and you'll probably hear about it maybe tomorrow, but there's going to be a surprise witness. For those of you who don't know how trial works, is you're not supposed to have surprises. It's supposed to be, here, these are our 50 witnesses. It's going to take 6 weeks to do the trial. The defense says, okay, here are 20 witnesses. It's going to take us 2 weeks. This is everything we're going to talk about. Here's the evidence. Here's the pictures. So everybody has enough time to prepare. It does so happen, though, that sometimes along the way, surprise witnesses do come up and they're like, hey, it just so happened that this person wasn't going to testify. Now they are. Now, you could look at it as they just ended up working out something and they brought this person on. Or you can look at it like they're playing games and they're trying to hide it from the defense and now they just want to surprise them. We'll see. We'll know more when the surprise testimony is revealed. And of course, I'll let you guys know when I hear more of the tea. Carry on with the show. Our first lead story. Chris Brown, I'm a free man. Judge springs him from jail. All right, for my daily listeners, y'all know what's going on with Chris Brown, but just a quick refresher for those who may have missed a couple of episodes. Chris Brown was supposed to head a couple of concerts over in England. He flew over a couple of days ahead of time to do his preparation. As soon as he touched down, Chris Brown was arrested and originally denied bail. From what we knew, he was supposed to be in jail. I think it was till June the 4th. It just so happened that this broke this morning that Chris Brown is now free. Chris Brown can breathe a sigh of relief because he was just granted bail after his arrest for putting hands on somebody in the United Kingdom, TMZ can confirm. The R&B singer did not appear for a hearing in the London court on Wednesday, but a judge signed off on releasing him from jail, paving the way for him to begin his world tour in a few weeks. The judge ordered Chris, who has yet to enter an appeal, to pay $5 million in British pounds as a security fee to the court, which translates to $6.7 million in American dollars. We don't know the details of his bail conditions, but we'll update you once we get word. As you know, Chris Brown was arrested last Thursday and charged with grievous bodily harm over an alleged 2023 incident that took place in a London nightclub. Chris is accused of putting his hands on a music producer that goes by the name of Abraham and something with his head and a bottle. Abraham survived the attack. While Chris is expected to kick off his tour in Amsterdam on June the 8th, followed by shows in Manchester, London, etc., later on in July. So that is the big Chris Brown update. We still don't know the terms of his condition, which, depending like how severe it could be, it could hamper his tour. However, outlets are reporting that the tour is going to go off without a hitch. So we'll see what his bail conditions are. Maybe he will get none. Who knows? I never understood holding Chris Brown anyways. This is something that happened over in England. Chris lives in the United States. I understand keeping somebody inside if they feel like they're a threat to their environment or a threat to especially the person who he committed this act with. But Chris Brown is going on a world tour. There's nothing that he can do when he's not even close to the person. So I'm happy the judge and the law came to their senses. Chris Brown can go out and do whatever he's going to do. But on the flip side, like I said when I first reported this, these celebrities and especially Chris Brown, you keep on hearing things popping up about him. You can't be going around manhandling people like this because you feel like you're famous and going to get away with things. So part of me is happy that he's out and he's able to do his thing. But the other part of me is Chris Brown's got to learn to just, if there's an incident, that's what you have bodyguards for. You have paid bodyguards. Chris doesn't move in nightclubs or any public places without security guards. He's got to cool himself down and cool his temper down. He already has enough backlash from Rihanna and the other stories that are out there about him. So I'm disappointed in him that he got himself in the situation. But, the case hasn't been tried. We don't have the evidence, etc. So I feel like he should at least be out on bail so that he could tour and make his money. Then he'll, once he goes to court, we'll be able to find out the evidence and see what happens. So, but Chris Brown, chill a little, bruh. All right, let me know what you guys think about Breezy in the comment section below. Our second lead story. Feds release Miami mansion raid pictures. There's DRUG, bondage gear, and high heels. All right, this is a part two. Also, after we're done with this part, we're going to give you guys some more details on Homeland Security. This was the head of the Miami raids that testified today in the case. Okay, so we're going to start out with the pictures. Unfortunately, it's so graphic. I cannot show you most of them. We posted a lot of them on Formally Out Loud, our Instagram page, FORMALLY, but I'll do my best and see what we could do here, okay? So, federal prosecutors just dropped another document dump of evidence presented in court at Diddy's SEX trafficking and racketeering trial. And the Pics gave us a window into the music mogul's lavish and kinky lifestyle on Miami's Star Island. As you know, Diddy lived in a huge mansion on the island, and a Homeland Security investigator testified Tuesday he was the head of the operation that conducted a raid on the property in March 2024. The agent told the courts that the feds confiscated loaded GUNs, a lot of SEX toys, and bottles of lubricants. Now the feds have publicly released a mountain of photos showing exactly what items the feds recovered from Diddy's sprawling estate, which, by the way, was pretty darn high end. Check out the snaps and see the boxes of platform heels, packages of crockless body stockings, and knee highs, as well as ropes and handcuffs. There were 2 stands of things that women use for pleasure. I'm sure y'all could figure that out. And on the shelving unit, there was Vaseline and Astroglide. Plus, the feds found strawberry and green apple flavored BJ, Blast Oral SEX candy, and wireless toys. Okay. All right, so here's the first one. There's some costumes, let's just say. There's some high heels. Here are some more high heels. There's some rope. And here is the famous baby oil. And here's some more baby oil and Astroglide. Just remember, when we're looking at these body oils and Astroglide, baby oil, not body oil. Just remember, Cassie has testified last week that this baby oil did not have anything in there. Remember, for months, people were suggesting on the internet that baby oil had DRUG in it and it would make people, feel away and etc., whatever, blah, blah. And it was how he was able to coerce people to do things that they didn't want. Has come out so far that the baby oil was just Diddy being freaky deaky and everything had to be glistening. Cassie had to be glistening at all times, and so did he and any of their male workers. If you guys remember last week, there were supposed to be pools of lube, like everywhere they went. Whenever they were set up, there was supposed to be like a little waiting pool filled, not with water, but with baby oil. So anyways, just wanted to remind you guys of that. All right, let's get on a little bit more to some details that this agent talked about with us. Homeland Security agent resumes testimony, details items seized in Miami raid. Testimony continued Wednesday in Diddy's federal SEX trafficking and racketeering trial in NYC, where Homeland Security investigators had taken the stand to continue Tuesday afternoon's questioning. After some back and forth between attorneys regarding proceedings, prosecutors announced Kid Cudi will not testify Wednesday. He's expected to take the stand on Thursday. As the hearing got underway, the agent was asked on the stand by the prosecution about the details of the 2024 raid on Diddy's mansion on Star Island in Miami. Pictures of the raid were released into evidence overnight depicting DRUG, GUN, and bedroom items. As you know, Diddy lived in a huge mansion on Star Island. The agent testified on Tuesday. He was head of the operation of the raid on the property on March 4th. Cross-examination of the defense, the agent said the operation was planned to go down without Diddy present at the location. Thought that was important to let you guys know about. 6 people were at the house when the agent entered. A music producer, a property manager, and other facilities personnel were put in handcuffs and they were searched. He said armored vehicles were used to approach the property. He testified yesterday the front gate was broken down, as well as a boat from the water side. And around 90 agents were involved, although not all at the same time, he said. Now, here is a little back and forth that I thought you guys would want to know. Diddy's attorney ended her cross-examination with an exchange about GUNs. Garagos, Agent Gannon, you live in Florida. Do many people have GUNs in their homes there? The prosecution, objection. Garagos says, Do you have a GUN in your home? The agent, Gannon, says yes. Garrigo says no further questions. Okay, so what is important here in this raid? This goes a little bit to both counts, a little bit of the racketeering charge, but also the coercion count. And, just trying to show that, he's dangerous. He really likes these freak offs, etc. Just giving some context. Now, keep in mind, the jury is not supposed to know any of this, right? They're trying to find people that are biased. So people like you and I that have been invested in this case, we're like, okay, we heard about this months ago. We know all about these raids. It's been all over TV. Just, they have to be technical, right? They have to present this to the jury because the jury is supposed to be made up of people that don't know about this stuff. So if you're wondering, this sounds repetitive. It is, but not to the jury who is biased, okay? My question in all of this is, Diddy knew that he was being investigated. And I asked this yesterday. If you know from Cassie, from you settled Cassie's case, you know that the feds are watching you. You settled with Cassie, you paid her $20 million in November, December, January, February, March. You had 4 months, bro. You're rich. Why not get rid of these things? I just don't understand. Why not throw these things out? Why not clean up these houses? And don't forget, this is just the Miami house. There was the LA house, which, if I'm not mistaken, they haven't presented that yet. So they're probably going to show everything that happened in the LA house. Did they do the LA house? I don't know. There's so much going on. Anyways, we all know what happened in the LA house. They found the exact same things over there, right? I think that's where they found like the actual 1,000 bottles and more GUNs. That's where they found off the shape where the serial numbers were shaped off. My question is that why didn't Diddy get rid of these things? And it goes back to my question from Monday's podcast of the day that he was arrested, just in September 2024, he was arrested with these same things in the hotel. And he was staying in the hotel because he told the police, hey, I know you guys are going to arrest me soon. I just want to make sure I'm close to you guys. And he stayed in a hotel in New York. Like, the man knew he was going to get arrested, but he still had DRUG with him. He still had lube. He still had all these things. It goes back to the same thing I'm saying every day. This case is beyond criminal. Diddy is a sick individual. This is somebody who cannot help himself. And it also goes back to what I said yesterday too. Diddy just thinks that he's above the law because he's been walking around getting away with so much things for so long, And that's why, regardless of how you look at this case, there's some people still in the comment section, there's no evidence. He's going to get, why are you convicting him? What is he on trial for? And then, of course, there's the people who feel like the prosecution is doing a good job. Regardless of what side you're on, you have to know and see by what's being presented, just the pictures alone, that he's a sick man. And it's possible that a jury can look and say, you know what? You didn't present every single fact and follow up every I and dot every I and cross every T, but we could see that this man is not safe to society just walking around out here. So yeah, we're going to at least find him guilty on a couple of counts and make sure that he sits down for a while. When Diddy does sit down, honestly, part of his condition should be that this man needs a psych evaluation and some mental help. I told you guys a couple of weeks ago, Tory Lanez, as much as he's trying to get out, in an interview, he said, being in jail was the best thing that's ever happened to me. I needed to sit down and just calm down a little bit. Tory Lanez is here compared to Diddy with fame, and Diddy's been famous for 20, 30 years, and the money is just completely different. Diddy's a sick man, y'all. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Our third lead story, the Diddy trial. Why victims stay in relationships where people are putting hands on them. A psychologist testifies. All right, here is a testimony from Dawn Hughes. She's a famous psychologist. She testified in the Johnny Depp case, Harvey Weinstein. And this is for people who don't understand. And for some jurors that might be saying, yo, This is not coercion. Cassie chose to stay. Why didn't she leave? This is the prosecution letting them know why you can still be in a relationship like this and it could still be coerced. And not only do you not leave, but you stay around and you come back and you could still be in love with somebody like this. So this is what this psychologist is testifying for the people who are not aware of this. Dawn Hughes took to the stand on Wednesday morning as the 11th witness called by the feds. Prosecutors are presenting her as an expert witness who specializes in trauma and traumatic stress. Hughes told the juries it's quite common for victims to remain in relationships where somebody's putting hands on you, explaining there's all sorts of mechanisms that make victims feel trapped, and it's not just reserved to physical violence. She testified people that are in those kind of relationships makes it hard for the victim to leave the relationship or seek help because of the private nature of the issues. She says they often feel shame, humiliation, degradation, and don't want to talk about it with others, much less think about it. Finances are another hurdle, Hughes said on the stand, telling jurors a victim who is financially dependent on the person who's putting hands on them will have a harder time leaving. That encompasses Diddy and Cassie's entire relationship. Hughes testified it sometimes takes multiple attempts for victims to finally leave a relationship like that, and there's a pattern of returning and reconciling. She said some victims feel they may come back to a good version of their partner who they still love. She told the jury trauma bonds may form between a victim and the person who's putting hands on them, and that can make a victim have a tough time leaving because there's love and kindness attached to the person who's putting hands on you. Hughes testified victims will often develop coping mechanisms to deal with getting hands put on them and may numb themselves by doing DRUG and drinking. She said it's common for victims to wait months or even years before telling anybody about their situation and that they are suffering. She told the jury victims' memories may be fragmented by trauma, and while they remember the gist or core of the issue, they may not recall every specific time or detail from when the incident happened. Diddy's defense attorney, Jonathan Batch, then cross-examined Hughes. He asked her about malingering and if people can fabricate emotional responses, and Hughes replied, they can. Diddy's defense team hasn't shied away from the fact that Diddy put hands on her, but they claim that it was both sides, Diddy and Cassie. Worth noting, Hughes testified that the government is paying her $600 an hour and she's getting $6,000 for her day in court. She was previously hired by Amber Heard in the Johnny Depp trial and is expected to testify in the Harvey Weinstein retrial, also in New York. Now, I looked up the definition of malingering, and it is a verb, and it's exaggerated or foreign illness in order to escape duty or work. While someone thought I was malingering, they couldn't see the pain I dealt with. All right, let's start off with the defense. While some people didn't like the fact that the defense brought up malingering and the other line they said, if people can fabricate emotional responses, yes, it's a little classless, but you also have to remember that Diddy is paying $3 million a month to the biggest lawyers in the US, and they have to try whatever they can to get in the jury's mind. Although at some point, I feel like sometimes it's better to just not say anything at all and just leave it alone, like they did yesterday with Cassie's mom, and they didn't cross-examine her. I'm not saying not to cross-examine Dawn Hughes, the psychologist, but indirectly trying to put in the jury's mind that Cassie fabricated some of these things is crazy work with all the evidence in the videos that we've seen. So I thought it was a mistake. Now, trauma bonding. Oh my gosh. I did a podcast almost, I don't know, I wouldn't say solely on trauma bonding, but I interviewed Dr. Alfie, who's my great, great friend. She's also the head of Charlemagne the God's Mental Wealth Alliance. She was one of the first people that I interviewed when I used to interview people for my podcast, and it was literally just me and somebody else talking before I changed it over to entertainment and podcast and viral news. But Oh my gosh, maybe I'll try to, like, I don't know, one day have her back on or during this trial to talk to you guys about trauma bonding. It is such an incredible thing, and so hard for people who don't understand like psychology and don't understand people that have, mental health issues. And trauma bonding is not only for somebody like Cassie in a situation where somebody's putting hands on you. It could be so many more things. And a lot of people don't realize, and this is the craziest thing about trauma bonding, is that the person who's in the trauma bond, they have no clue they're in it until they're out of it. And people could try to tell them, but they have no clue. And they're so in love and they're so enamored with the person, they don't even realize that it's a trauma bond and trauma experience. It is crazy. Dr. Alfie explains it far better than I can. I mean, she is a doctor. But anyways, I like that they brought her on, and I know that there could be still some jurors that don't understand and still might think, hey, she could have just left. Why didn't she just walk away? Why is she sending him, text messages or whatever? Like I said, we got to, do our due diligence. And this is still a courtroom, and this is still 12 jurors. And it doesn't matter what I know about trauma bonding or what you know about trauma bonding or anybody. It's really up to these 12 jurors, and the defense they must feel like there are one or two or maybe more jurors up there that are not going to believe in trauma bonding. This is a theory. This is not something that you could test, like, do you have cancer or not? Yes, you do. You know what I'm saying? That's not how mental health, and that's not how these things work. So you have to understand, while it might be tasteless for the defense to do, and it might come across as cold, you still have a job to do, and that's to try to get Diddy off. But I read the transcripts. I heard about what people said that were in the courtroom, and they said that Don's testimony, is Don? Yeah, Don Hughes. You know me and names. Don Hughes, right? Yeah, the psychologist. Yeah, Don. I was like, is it Don Richard? I don't want to confuse y'all. Yeah, Don Hughes, the psychologist. That her testimony was very effective, and there were a couple of jurors that were, I wouldn't say like surprised, but that were like into her testimony. So I feel like it was another positive day for the prosecution, which is why I feel like the defense should have just ate that and been like, all right, let's just move on, Anyways, let me know what you think about all of this in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to quick Diddy news. Ring my bell. Our first quick Diddy story. Male freak-off worker reveals he wrote a book about men having performance issues, mentions incident when he couldn't perform in freak-off with Diddy and Cassie. The title of his book is In Search of Freezer Meat, a story of a male mental health crisis caused by men to have performance issues. And the only true cure nobody is talking about is an implant. All right. I just wanted to throw this in here because I forgot to mention it to you guys yesterday. So this is the Punisher, by the way. All right. We told you guys about him yesterday. So I'm not going to call him Haynes. I'm going to call him the Punisher because I think it's hilarious. The Punisher reveals performance issues in a direct testimony with prosecutors. The prosecution says, did you ever have any difficulty creating the scene for Mr. Combs? I like the scene. He said, yes, at times I experienced anxiety and some sex pressure within myself. So there were moments I would struggle with getting and maintaining, what? So there were times I experienced those issues. Diddy's defense team started a line of questioning to the Punisher's book, and Diddy's lawyers came up and said, congratulations on your book. What's the title again? And then the Punisher says, In Search of Freezer Meat. Like you put meat in the freezer meat. Then Diddy's lawyer said, in search of freezer, as in hard meat? Then the Punisher says, what's harder than freezer meat? You can't make this stuff up, people. During his time on the stand, the Punisher revealed he would sometimes experience issues, etc., while he was with Diddy. He told prosecutors he wrote a self-help book about his condition and spent around 6 pages of the text detailing some of his encounters with Diddy and Cassie while maintaining the privacy of the two stars. Just wanted to put it out here, just in case you guys were interested in more of The Punisher. The book is In Search of Freezer Meat. How are you going to call yourself The Punisher and you be having them issues, yo? Y'all let me know what you think about this. This is part crime story, part comedy, I swear. What do you think about The Punisher in the comment section below? Our second quick Diddy story. All right, Meek Mills has something that he would like to get off his chest and to let y'all know. Just to put that on public record, and the craziest thing I've seen at a Puffy party is C vibes. You know, the white C vibes. And that's going on at all these parties. I'm from North Philly. I had millions since I was 23 years old. I don't even want to be addicted to that Bob Marley. Not judging, but I see it different. What's Meek Mills talking about? There is so much going on in the Diddy trial. What's Meek talking about? And Meek, we have seen the pictures of you and Diddy wearing matching t-shirts. We know there was a lot more that you saw going on at Diddy parties other than the C. All right? And there's probably another C, if you know what I'm talking about. The O and the exactly. Wearing matching t-shirts. I have never worn matching t-shirts with another man ever, except for when I was playing football and we're all wearing jerseys. And even at that, we had on different numbers on our jersey. All right, Meek, you know and I know, bro. Our third quick story. CNN reports Diddy's estimated $400 million fortune can be seized if convicted in federal SEX trafficking and Rico case. With the Rico, everything is in play. All right, this could have been a lead story. This is actually really huge. Citing Forbes, CNN reports that Diddy's estimated $400 million fortune is up for grabs by the government if convicted in his federal SEX trafficking and racketeering Rico case. In 2022, Forbes reported that Diddy had a $1 billion net worth. However, at the end of 2024, Forbes reported that it plummeted down to $400 million per CNN. In the new broadcast report, CNN anchor and chief legal analyst Laura Coates talked about Diddy's assets and said, even with all the legal troubles, Forbes estimated that Diddy's net worth is still around $400 million. But if he were to be convicted, all of that could be in jeopardy. Why? Because the government could seize his assets. Now, I have heard that this $400 million number is actually a little more than this. Let's just leave it at that. Diddy knew what was going on, and Diddy moved around some things. Okay, just put it that way. But still, $400 million is still a lot. And how much could you be hiding and stashing and moving away, right? Like, it's very shocking, very, very, very shocking what they're alluding to. Take a look at this video.
Now, Sean Diddy Combs isn't only fighting for his freedom, but also his money. If he were to be convicted, all that could be in jeopardy. Why?
The Rico is essentially anything he touched in his business world, whether it's record labels, liquor labels, planes, trains, and automobiles. Basically, everything is in play. And the other thing is there's a concept called substitute assets. Just when you think you're crawling out of the wreckage and you're down to your last 400 million, you're told, oh, we're also going for substitute assets, which means even if we can't prove that this particular car, this diamond watch, this piece of art is not connected to criminality, it still relates to our overall reward, and we're going to use it as a substitute.
So let me give you guys some context with this, and also the point of view from the other side, which y'all know I love to do. So now we understand why Rico is involved, because with the Rico Act, that's when they could go after assets. And it's simple that if he used any of his Sean John Enterprises, Bad Boy, Ciroc, this, etc., whatever, if he used any of that money to do SEX trafficking under fraud or coercion or any other sort of illegal activity, that puts those businesses in jeopardy to seize assets, money, freezing stuff, etc. And the good news about it is a lot of that money could go to settling claims from his victims, meaning Cassie could get more money, y'all. Remember we talked about, I think it was last week or the beginning of this week, where I had like this realization of like, yo, if Diddy's a billionaire, Cassie should have asked for way more than 30 million and then settling at 20 million. She should have asked for like 100 million and actually settled at 100 million, or asked for 150 and settled at 100. That would be 1/10 of what you're worth. So that's one side. If Diddy is convicted of Rico, they could go after all of his assets and subsequent assets. Now, the flip side to that, which makes it even more interesting, is if y'all remember, I told you guys the defense has said, and nobody's talking about the defense because they're not up on the stand yet, but the defense is going to try to prove, and they said this in various interviews, that they are going to try to prove that the government is just trying to take down a successful black man. Now, we might hear that after seeing all the stuff that's going on and be like, what are you talking about? We're coming to take a successful black man. We're here to come and take down somebody who's clearly crazy. But again, you have to consider the jury and you have to consider the charges. He's not up there for DV. He's not up there for, relationship issues, et cetera, et cetera. But let's focus on the defense's side, which they'll have 2 weeks to prove. If they have evidence that there is some sort of motive for the government to take down this successful billionaire black businessman, then it would make sense for their defense team to say, you see, they're going after Rico because they want to take him down. There has been speculation for months that because Diddy went after Diageo and because he was winning with their case against Diageo was the one that was bankrolling and pushing this Cassie thing so that they wouldn't have to settle with Diddy. And since that, it was like, yo, he's getting too powerful. We need to take him down. We've heard this for years with other prominent black celebrities. So the fact that this charge is there, and we know that the defense is going to make this a big part of their case, it makes it very, very, very interesting. And it begs the question of why prosecution wanted to charge him with Rico. Why did they want to put that in there? Is it because they want to go after his money? Because that is what that will enact. So the plot thickens, y'all. The plot thickens. Just remember, like what a lot of people have said, we have to wait to see all the pieces of the puzzle. The defense still has their case of 2 weeks, and the prosecution still has, 4.5 weeks. Kid Cudi hasn't even taken a stand. Anyways, I don't see how Diddy can get off of this. I don't love that defense taking down a successful black man when you have all of this. Another thing I want to remind you guys of Rico. R. Kelly was taken down for Rico. Anytime you use money from a business to do illegal activity, that falls under Rico. A lot of people feel like Rico is just set up for, organized gang. No, if you have a business and you use illegal activity and people that are around you or that are employed, that falls under the RICO Act. So there's that side too, which totally makes sense. And we've heard testimony already of a lot of people that were hired. Diddy's ex-assistant, he's there out looking for Suge Knight with GUNs in the van. That's RICO. So this case is crazy, man. Anyways, I can sit here and talk forever. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to quick news. Ring my bell. Our first quick story. Elon Musk said he is done with donating to politics. He said, I think I've done enough. Elon Musk said he's done with politics donations. Wrecking the system was just a one-time project. Take a listen.
I think in terms of political spending, I'm going to do a lot less in the future.
And why is that?
I think I've done enough.
Is it because of blowback?
Well, if I see a reason to do political spending in the future, I will do it. I do not currently see a reason.
Okay, so he just totally avoided that question. Is it for blowback? If I see there's a reason, I'll do it again. Okay, we all know that Elon Musk lost billions of dollars, being Trump's, what was it? The gentleman, the second gentleman in charge, something like that. Bro, something, can't remember the nickname. Anyways, look, it didn't work out as planned. And a lot of people will sit down and be like, I don't know why he did that in the first place. Just remember that Elon Musk, his fortune and his future isn't just Tesla. It's Neuralink, it's AI, and he has a lot of government contracts. So Elon Musk, in his head, this was an investment to invest in Trump, get him elected, and in return, he gets more government contracts. He has his, was it Space Link or not Neuralink? I think it's SpaceX that goes up in the, up to space. I think if that's the right name. Anyway, so this was him curry favoring to get more government contracts. And you see a lot of people doing that. Google, you see Apple, you see, was Microsoft in there? Anyways, I don't know, but you see a lot of these people doing that, right? Even Jeff Bezos. My question is that I understand the donations. I even understand you going on the campaign trail. I just don't understand why you went and did Doge. That was the downhill. Now, like I said, just keep in mind, not saying that, he should have done it or the things he done on the political trail. For those who might be new, I'm not Republican or I'm not Democrat. I haven't talked about politics in a while, so I have to tell people who are new here. I'm not on Trump's side or Biden's side or whatever. I'm saying I understand if billionaires do these kind of things. I'm not agreeing with him. But I just don't understand, why do Doge? Like, you already got Trump elected. You played a major part in it. You would have gotten all the favors you wanted to get. Why go and do Doge? That is what turned the American people against you. That's what made you lose billions of dollars and have Tesla and all of these things that happen. Like, I think maybe the popularity and the fame got to him. I said that. I was like, him jumping on stage and like acting like he's a rock star. I feel like he had like that kind of like unlocked something in him. Like, he was just a nerdy guy that had autism and he was like, the richest guy in the world. But, money gives you access to a lot of things, but it doesn't make you like adorn like how some celebrities are. And I feel like there's a lot of people that yearn for that. So I think it was that kind of like that rock star feeling and that energy that he got on stage. He's like, yo, let's keep it going. And then that just took a nosedive with Doge. Anyways, we'll see if he can get his businesses back on track. History says that after billionaires endorse campaigns and presidents, that in a year or 2 years, people forget. I don't think people are going to forget what Elon Musk did. Y'all let me know what you think in the comment section below. Our second quick story. Tory spokesperson responds after recent statement by Megan. All right, I'm giving you guys day-by-day updates of what's going on with Tory and Megan. Remember, I told you yesterday, they said that in 38 hours, they're coming out with evidence that proves Tory Lane is what's the word? Innocent. Sorry. In the meantime, his spokesperson put this out and said, facts are a funny thing. They don't lie. No amount of noise, distraction, or spin will change facts. Sometimes people may try to manipulate those facts and may have temporary gain with those manipulations. Truth is steady. It doesn't bend to convenience or ego. And while it may take time to surface, it always does, often at great cost to those who choose integrity over image. Free Tory. I cannot wait to see if they get Tory Lanez out of jail, man. Remember, he has appeal and he has the driver that says that he heard Kelsey say that she was the one with the GUN and that did that to Megan. And on top of that, there could be supposedly, allegedly new evidence coming out in the next 48 hours. And there's somebody in government who's making pleas to the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, to look and give him a pardon. You have appeal, a pardon, demand, and new evidence. Tory might be out in a couple of days, man. Who knows? Let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section below. Our third quick story. Corey Bond becomes the 5th inmate captured after escaping New Orleans jail. 5 other inmates still at large. All right, we followed up. Well, not followed up. Yes, we have told you guys about the story and we followed up about it. I told you guys yesterday that DJ Vlad wants to interview the 7 remaining. And he was like, bruh, you're going to get captured anyways. While you're out, if you want some legendary status and you want to get online, get some online fame, come and get interviewed. Since that came out, 2 more have been captured. Here's the picture of them. I think I showed it to you already. Another one bites the dust. 19-year-old Corey Bond has just become the 5th inmate captured after escaping from a New Orleans jail last week. Bond was taken into custody and booked on charges of simple escape, though his original incarceration was second-degree unaliving, attempted unaliving, etc., etc. I told you all yesterday that these guys are not here to play around. There's a reason why they're escaping. They weren't getting out anytime soon, okay? According to the reports, Bond was spotted last Friday, hours after the jailbreak, or on French Quarter surveillance cameras. More than 200 law enforcement officers from local, state, and federal agencies are working around the clock to track down the remaining 5 escapees. A $20,000 reward is being offered for tips leading to the arrest of each one. Yo, I wonder where these guys are at, yo. I'm sure within the next couple of days they're going to increase that reward, because right now people are sitting down like, 20 G's? I don't know if that's enough. They'll start increasing that. 50,000, 100,000 people are going to snitch because they all have to be captured. The level of embarrassment this is for New Orleans, like, this is international news. Like, it's every day we're getting updated on this. 5 are still out. There's no way they could have left the U.S. That's impossible. I bet you by the end of the week, they're all back inside. Y'all better take up Vlad on his interview, man. Maybe you can get some money while you're out. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Our fourth quick story. Harvey Weinstein declares innocence in new interview. I did not commit these crimes. I swear to God. All right. Candace Owens has done a recent interview with Harvey Weinstein. As we just said earlier, Harvey Weinstein is getting a new trial in New York. We'll bring you guys up to date on that and let you know everything that's going on. He sat down with Candace Owens. Here's what he said. Take a listen.
I did not commit these crimes. I swear that before God and the people watching now and on my family. The people who support me are scared to talk.
What I always found to be problematic about the Me Too movement from the beginning, we're conflating he made a pass at me and I didn't like it with rape.
A complete fabrication about my relationship with Gwyneth. I didn't put my hand on her. I didn't touch her. I definitely made a pass.
All right, I want to talk to you guys about Candace Owens in a second, but for those of you who don't know why Harvey Weinstein is getting a new trial, I just want to remind you, Harvey Weinstein is getting a new trial in New York because a higher court ruled that his 2020 conviction of the R word should be overturned due to improper admission of evidence. Specifically, the court found that the original trial judge allowed testimony from women who made allegations against Weinstein for conduct he was not charged with, which unfairly prejudiced the jury. Does that sound a little bit familiar to you? Like the things that I've been saying about this judge in the Diddy trial, there's some things that I don't agree with that he allowed that could come back in the future. I feel like this is a Diddy thing that we're going to see this in a couple of years. And, Diddy, it might not take him so long to get there. Let's not get into this because we already covered enough Diddy, but trials are so delicate. One little thing, okay, this is overturned. Boom, you get a new trial. Like little things. That's why a couple of weeks ago I was saying, hey, the judge should do this. I feel like the jury should be sequestered. I understand that it's hard. I understand it's 2 months, but I feel like the jury should have been sequestered. Like I said, I'm not going to go over it, but there's a couple of little things and things that were said that, remember, I keep telling you, that's why the defense, hey, we need 2 more months to prep. That alone, the fact that they asked for 2 more months to prep, and I know that Diddy asked for a speedy trial. I know. But what a lot of you are forgetting when you say that is that when they first laid charges, there was 3 charges, but they said, hey, we're going to have a superseding indictments. Then they came back in April and they said, hey, we're going to put 2 more charges on. Then they said, oh, we want 2 more months, and the judge didn't allow it. He didn't ask for 2 more months just for no reason. It's because there were more charges laid. That alone, Diddy could look back after and be like, hey, I didn't have time to prepare. A higher court could be like, you didn't give the man enough time to prepare. Hey, you shouldn't have let this person testify. You shouldn't have let this happen. Hey, you remember when you objected at this? Like, courts are very, very delicate, man. So that's one thing. More importantly, in that clip, you heard what Candace Owens said. I wanted to know from you ladies, I know there's a couple of you out there that really like Candace. How do you feel about this interview and Candace Owens giving light to Harvey Weinstein? Now, there's one thing to interview somebody and be a journalist and not give your opinion. From that clip I just played for you, and I played that part in particular, is that it's coming across as if Candace is almost like an advocate for him, and she's giving him a platform to prove his innocence before his trial begins. Because remember, jury hasn't been selected, and it'll be something like Diddy, where the jury is not supposed to have known about this and be unbiased. Who hasn't heard about Harvey Weinstein? So what do you guys think about Candace Owens giving Harvey Weinstein her platform? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Our 5th quick story. Claressa Shields speaks on Papoose' divorce and where she stands with Remy Ma. She says, I don't have any ill will towards her. All right, during a sit-down interview with The Breakfast Club, Claressa Shields addressed her relationship with Papoose as well as the elephant in the room, referring to his divorce with Remy Ma. She also made it clear that she has no ill will towards the rapper after they got into a heated social media argument last year. All right, for my daily listeners, you know that I always talk to you guys about Claressa Shields. She is the undisputed heavyweight female champion of the world, and I love her. She is the female Mike Tyson. Love her. Between her and Serena Williams, love her. Love both of them. Now, I wanted to play this interview. Normally, I make sure I watch a whole interview, but because I have to do so much research and never miss a Diddy moment, I haven't been able to watch this whole thing. But I wanted to just pull this little excerpt out and just to show you guys like what a class act she is. Remy Ma has continuously gone on and said a bunch of stuff about Claressa and, tried to drag her in the media when her movie was coming out, when she had her last bout. And I just love how she handled the situation on The Breakfast Club. Take a listen.
When somebody is just truthful with you from the beginning, there is no secrets. It's just, hey, this is what it is. And do you accept or do you not accept? That's kind of what it was. And he's been truthful from the beginning. Women are women. I don't know what else to say. Like, I don't have any ill will toward any women. And I don't have any ill will toward her.
All right. I wish I could play you guys that whole clip, but obviously I can't for copyright reasons. She just goes on to say, listen, Pap and I are in love and he's going through a divorce. Divorces are not easy, but we are together a lot. We spend a lot of time with each other. Remember in social discussion, I always talk to you guys about time, quality time spent. She said, when we're not together, we're FaceTiming. We're talking about having kids. She's saying that she's 30 years old and they discuss family and they discuss love, etc., etc. And you could tell the space that she's in versus the space that Remy Ma is in. Now, I wouldn't be so hard on Remy Ma. Let's say that she was just single and upset. I would get it. But Remy Ma's like, oh, man, I have my man and my boyfriend who you allegedly cheated on Pap with. So how is Claressa Shields so pleasant and chilled? And you're supposed to be in a relationship that's fulfilling to you, Remy, and you are like dragging her every chance you get. I just feel like Remy's situation is she's not being honest about her situation, or else she would just be at peace too. Doesn't that just clearly make that argument? Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Our 6th quick story. All right, I just want to give you guys a follow-up on Big U. For those of you who don't remember who Big U is Nipsey Hussle's ex-manager. And this is the other case that's going on in LA right now. We talked about him a couple of times on the podcast. So I just want to give you guys a follow-up. Big U to represent himself in federal Rico case after his attorney drops out. Listen to this. You think Diddy's got problems? LA street figure Big U plans to represent himself in his federal Rico case after his lawyer backed out. His attorney filed to drop him as a client, blaming a total breakdown in trust and communication. Big U has been in federal lockup since March 19th, and he told the court he doesn't have the money to hire a new attorney. Back on March the 7th, Big U and 18 other allegedly tied to the Rolling Six neighborhood GANG got hit with a massive federal indictment. The charges include et cetera, you guys know everything what's going on. So that's a Rico case that we're used to hearing, right? There's an aliving, there's the RUG, there's a lot. And I mean, like, that's what Big U was known for, right? You wanted to do something in LA, you had to go through Big U. So I think it's not the money that's the issue. I think that he just knows that he's caught. So, like, why spend the money when, you know what I mean? He knows he's going inside for a while. So he probably just wants to save the rest of his money and, you know, give what he has left to his kids. Pretty much over for him. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, y'all know what time it is. My favorite segment, comments of the day. All right, before I get to the comments of the day, y'all know I have a very important question for you. Is your computer, laptop, or cell phone vulnerable to data breaches? Well, let me answer that question for you. Yes, they are if you're not using Aura, the all-in-one digital security platform. Go to my sponsor below, aura.com/Trent Out Loud, to get a free 14-day trial to see if any of your data has been exposed. Now, for those of you who might be new to this channel, I do have a lot of fun reading the script. I try to do it different every day, but in all seriousness, Aura is amazing, and the 14-day free trial is actually really good because they could find if any of your data has been exposed for free, all right? If you're wondering how it works or wondering more about it, let me tell y'all. If you've ever wondered how scammers get your phone number and why your inbox is flooded with spam, this is why. There are companies called data brokers that sell your data. They do it without your consent, and they make billions selling it to marketers, scammers, and even stalkers. That is why I recommend today's sponsor to my family, friends, and Out Louders. Or it takes care of the hard part for you, automatically removing the info off of sites, your info off of sites, and making sure it stays off, which is actually the biggest key component. Or is an all-in-one digital security platform. Now, some of you may already have digital security tools, but having a digital security tool and not using Aura is like having your front door locked and keeping your back door open. Basically, you need Aura, all right? Now, Aura gives you alerts if your personal data is found on the dark web. They also have real-time fraud alerts for credit card or banking, which is my favorite thing ever. They have a secure VPN, antivirus, password manager, and they have a US-based support system that is around the clock if anything should go wrong. And also, if anything does go wrong, they have a $5 million anti-theft package protection. So you are protected no matter what happens. And that's not 5,000, 50, half. No, it's 5 million with an M. How's an M go? $5 million identity theft insurance package. All right. 14 days with the link below or the QR code that I'm going to put up here right now. Take out your phone, turn on your camera, point it. The link will pop up. Follow that link. We have got you a 14-day free trial. Free. Every day I accentuate the fact that it is free to sign up. Within those 14 days, Aura will be able to go search out on the dark web and find out if any of your information is there. Make sure that all your devices, all your phone number, your email, social security, everything is protected. If they find everything, they could wipe it off the internet for you. And then after those 14 days, if you want to continue, that's between you and them. This link and this opportunity and this offer is just to help y'all it's the first thing. So I made sure that we set this up this way to help y'all. I'm trying to give y'all back. But also for Aura just to show what they can do. All right. So make sure you sign up. A lot of Outlouders have already signed up, and I get emails literally every day thanking me like, yo, Trent, thank you for showing me this. It's been amazing. So I wanted to tell you guys about it daily. Okay. I also have something about Aura in the comment section that I have to follow up on, but I'll wait till I think it's coming up in three comments. But let's get started with the comments. All right. First one is Grown and Classy says, oh, snap. That video is crazy. However, in my Trent voice, they're not staying at my house. Sorry. 3 meals and a cot were provided. Yes. First of all, I love when you guys make fun of the however. Well, not make fun of it, but I never knew how much I did it. However, I can't even do it now without laughing. It's hilarious. Anyways, yes, that video was crazy. Grown and Classy is actually talking about the New Orleans jail. It was so funny seeing them running out that jail. It was crazy. And that's exactly why we all know they're going to get caught, because just like Grown and Classy, who's going to keep them up in their house? They can't stay outside. Somebody's got to keep them in their house, and no one's going to. All right. Grown and Classy, thank you so much for that. Here is what I was talking about Aura. Doggy Dog, or is it Doji Doge? I never know. I think I've read one of your comments before. Anyways, Aura question. Do non-US citizens get all the great features mentioned? UK citizen asking. Now, this is my bad. I never put that part on my script, and I forgot to mention it. This is only for US customers only. I'm really, really sorry that I never mentioned that. I also got another message. This one is from, let's just say it's K-Tibbs. Trent, do you know Aura only works if you are an American citizen? I live in Nova Scotia, Canada, and I had tried your free bonus trial, and today they called me and told me it will not work for me, and they refunded my money as I don't have American citizenship. Just wanted to let you know for your listeners. So my bad on that, guys. I spoke with Aura today, and they actually forgot to let me know that. So I have it in my script. I'll be reminding you guys every day. I did tell them I was very disappointed because this is a global podcast. So I want to give back to all of my listeners. The good news is that they are working on things that are global, not things, but working on a protection that is global. And as soon as they have it, they're going to give you guys special access to it. All right. So global Outlouders, do not worry. I did not forget about you. They are working on something, and we'll get something special for you guys when it is effective. All right. So thank you very much for those 2 comments and bringing that to my attention. All right. The next one is Dexter. Dexter said, fax machine. That was to yesterday's, was it question of the day? Yeah. Question of the day was, let's try to confuse the younger generation, Sears. And then you have to say something else. People said like beepers and et cetera, et cetera. Fax machine, that's a really good one. If you say to a teenager, fax machine, they have no clue what you're talking about. Very good. D-Man says, Diddy is guilty of DV. All these charges against him are just a way to punish him for putting his hands on women. He is not guilty of the charges. You can keep telling yourself lies. See, this is what I'm telling you guys. No matter what Cassie says, no matter what a psychologist says, no matter who they put on, there's going to be some people who don't see the force, fraud, and coercion. Let's hope the jurors, the 12 jurors, are not these people who don't see this, but I see it every day, and I'm sure you guys see it too online in the comment section. I don't know how they can't see it. I get in before people started testifying, I get how you had doubts. And even the first couple of days, I was like, oh, they're a little bit shaky, but we're a week and a half in, and you could see the evidence of Rico. By the way, the SCX trafficking, that's already done. Like, he hired male workers and brought them to another state. So just to let you know, he's guilty of that. Now, that charge is the lesser of the charges, and that charge is maybe like a year or so. He'll get time served. So just to know, not even a question, he will be found guilty on that charge. What is still needs to be closed is the SEX trafficking with force, fraud, and coercion. And like I said a couple of days ago, no, the prosecution doesn't have concrete evidence of him saying, if you don't do this, I will do, if you don't do these free calls, I will do this. That's why we're at a trial. If they had that undisputed evidence, Diddy would have just pled guilty. He wouldn't have gone through this. So yes, there's going to be hearsay. Yes, there's going to be testimony, but every witness has been very credible. And the defense has poked some holes. Yes, Don Richards didn't, hold up to every single cross-examination, but you cannot sit here and tell me that Cassie didn't do a great job. You can't sit here and tell me that Cassie's mom was super convincing, so much so that the defense didn't even cross-examine her. The defense was like, Diddy has 10 lawyers, some of the best lawyers in the United States of America, and they can't even come up with a way to cross-examine her. How are you going to try to tell me that they don't have a case? Come on now. Anyways, I respect your opinion, D-Man. I respect your opinion, but you'll be better off of saying Diddy is probably going to get off on a mistrial, on an appeal, a mistake. That is what Diddy will get off on. But I really believe that he will get charged. And we're only a week and a half in. There's still 4.5 more weeks. So stay tuned. But I respect your opinion. Next one is Celtic, I think. Celtic. Hey, Trent. I love waking up to your voice. I'm in Australia, but go to you for my latest news. Keep on doing what you do best. You are wonderful. I love getting these comments. Thank you so much. And it makes it even better, the fact that you're all the way on the other side of the world. Down under. Oi, mate. I was actually supposed to go model in Australia. That's one of the places I've never been. And because I like to be so worldly, I told my model agency when I was modeling, after I was done with my contract in South Africa, I'm like, I want to go to Australia. There was actually an agency that was going to take me out there, but then I stopped modeling and then I started getting busy with my stores and then I stopped acting and stuff. So I'm definitely going to come out there one day. The next one is Dwayne. I think it's Dwayne. Bro, quit the end Diddy talk. You don't know how the jury will decide. Everybody thought Young Thug was over, but look at him now. Okay, respect your opinion. Just my opinion. I think he's done. I think it's over. And Diddy's hopes is literally at the point of mistrial or appeal. Just my opinion. I feel like Young Thug was a little different. There were a lot of issues and mistakes that the prosecution made, and I think they knew that. And there was just a lot more people involved that weren't as credible. Remember, in his case, there were a lot of other GANG members who kind of didn't hold up. Example, like Cassie's mom, you know what I'm saying? Or these psychologists and everything. But I get what you're saying. I just feel like he's almost at the end. And I will throw this in here. Maybe I should have thrown this up a little higher. Maybe I'll put this into breaking news. Diddy has hired in another lawyer because this lawyer is an expert, like with government coming after your money. And the reason why he wants to hire this lawyer, or why he did hire this lawyer, is that even Diddy thinks that Diddy is going to lose or get found guilty, especially under the Rico. And when you got caught with Rico, then the government comes and takes all your money. That's why I threw in that CNN story. So why would Diddy go and hire a lawyer that has is an expert working with Rico cases, being found guilty, and the government coming after your money, if he didn't think that he was going to be found guilty? We shall see. Next one is from Dawn, and I like how at the end she said Dawn is Dawne, but the E is silent. Thank you, Dawn. Hey, Trent, love the question of the day. My son and I were just discussing how well he has it now. I feel like my mom, when she used to tell me, you have it so good. When I was your age, we had to walk to and from school barefoot in the snow uphill. Laugh out loud. Here are my throwbacks. Okay, I thought these were really good. Maps Co. before GPS. phone or phone with cords, laugh out loud. I had a phone in my room and I had to get the longest cord so I could walk around my room to stay on the phone with my friends. Oh, and the annoying busy signal from a call waiting. Phone boost, and we had to actually write letters to family or friends to correspond before email. We have come so far. Love your spirit, transparency, personality, perspective, energy, and truth. Keep up the great work. Yours truly, your out louder, Dawn from Dallas, Texas. All right, I definitely got to make it out to Texas. We have so many viewers from Texas. It's crazy. Dawn, thank you. And those are all amazing answers. I think Dawn didn't even repeat any that I said yesterday. And we said a lot yesterday. That phone with the phone cord, my sister used to do that. My sister's a little older than me. I remember she had that long phone cord because she was always on the phone walking around. Crazy. Of course, now you're just on like cell phone, you know? Anyways, if anybody wants to jump into yesterday's question of the day, fax machine and everything that Dawn said was really good. Let me know in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to social discussion of the day. All right, I know this says question of the day here, but this was so good that I had to bring it to social discussion, all right? Is having a type limiting your chances at real love? Y'all have heard me talk about this before, so I jump at the chance. I'll read a couple of them. Yeah, but not dating anybody I'm not attracted to. Another person says, yes, sometimes your type will hinder you from having the love you are looking for. Another person said, I dated outside of my type with my ex-fiance. It's a no. I'm a deal with the BS. I'd rather be with somebody I feel is irresistible. That's very honest. I really like that comment. I don't agree with it, but I feel it's very honest. Listen, I dated outside my type with my ex and it's a no. I'd rather deal with the BS because I'd rather be with somebody I find irresistible. Very honest. Next person said, you got ladies out here that will meet a man that has every effing thing they want in a man, but he is 5'6". It's a good point, ladies. It's a very good point. You meet a man, he has everything. Everything checks off every single box. Emotional intelligence, whatever it is that checks off your box, okay? Money, not money, whatever. He has everything you want. You're a perfect guy, but he's 5'6". You still staying with him? You still dating him or what? Be honest. Be honest. Another person said, don't settle. Another person said, yes and no, because it's okay to have a type when it comes to your standards in people, but it's only aesthetics. If it's only aesthetics you're looking for, you'll never be all the way fulfilled because beauty fades. Okay? We all got a type, but if you click something, a shorty who will go along that fits that called life, God will bring you what you want is supposed to, and what's supposed to come. I don't really understand that. All right, I'll read one more. No, because I know you exactly what I'm looking for. Oh, I know exactly what I am looking for, but I will not settle. Okay. Let me read this again. I love this question. Is having a type limiting your chances at real love? I have gone on record many times in social discussion to say that I do not have a type. I do not have a type. So my answer is it's definitely not limiting my love because it bothers me when people have a type. I've told you guys about one of my good friends who's like, I'll only date Asian girls or I'd only date short girls. He likes petite girls. How could you think like that when my thing is looking for a wife or ladies looking for a husband? Because you can't think about those physical things. Like one other person said, that's going to fade. And a relationship doesn't work based off of what that other person said when she's like, I want to find somebody irresistible. You can't parent and you can't raise a child and you cannot live 24/7 with somebody just based off of, oh, he or she is irresistible. Bro, when you wake up and you got morning breath, I don't care how pretty they are. That's morning breath. You know what I'm saying? When somebody is in the bathroom or when there's times where that irresistibleness is gone. And like I said, my answer is it's definitely getting in the way of finding real love. Not love or a great Friday night, real love, marriage. And what I say to people like my friend and the people like said like I would rather deal with, the BS. What I say is I don't have a specific type, but you need to broaden it a little. Like, I don't feel like height should affect it. However, with an asterisk, I understand, sorry guys, men, I understand women putting height in their box that they don't want to uncheck. That's better. That's what I'm trying to say. I feel like there should be some boxes that you don't uncheck. There should be a lot that you do uncheck, but some that you don't. And I understand women that will be like, I don't care how perfect the guy is. I can't deal with somebody who's short. Sorry, short men out there. Because women, first of all, are so much more deeper than men. They're not looking at it as just like an attractive thing. They're looking at it, and I don't know if you guys will mind if I speak on a woman's behalf. You guys let me know in the comment section. But for a woman, it's more of a protection thing. It's more of a security thing. Yes, there's going to be some women who are like, when I wear heels, I want to make sure I'm not taller than my man. It's an aesthetic thing, but for women, it's a feeling. And you can't ask a woman to get rid of that feeling. Me, if I see a tall girl or a medium-sized girl or a short girl, there's no like feeling of like protection or security or an alpha female. Like, it's just literally just nothing. And my friend that's looking for a petite girl, that's not a feeling. That's just his eye of what he finds attractive. So women, I'll give you guys that pass. But what I was saying is, yes, like a couple of comments, you have to have the attraction. You want to find somebody irresistible, but it cannot be so narrow to like hair color, hair texture, skin texture, height, this, that. By the time you find that person, for him or her to have all your values, for you guys to have kids with, for you guys to live with, for you guys to grow up, it's impossible. You will never find that person. And I'm picky, and this is me telling you this. I am very picky on my values, and that I won't budge on. You guys know that about me already. I will not judge. I will not move or tick any boxes off of my values. But I have a woman that I am attracted to, and I leave it pretty wide. And if you guys remember, a couple of weeks ago, or maybe like 2 weeks ago, somebody in the comments section, it was episode 500, where somebody asked me, when I was saying, hey, you guys, ask me anything personal. And somebody said, hey, Trent, you have said a bunch of things about a bunch of different women. Like when I joke around, I say, yo, Serena, send me a DM, call me, or whatever, this different girls. And they're like, hey, it doesn't seem like you have a type. And that's exactly it. I don't have a type. I was just saying that as proof. I don't have a type. There's a certain class or, a group, but I have a lot of different body types that could fit in that group. And I feel like that's why I will find the love of my life one day. We won't get too much into that, but I don't think that my type will ever get in the way of real love. My standards and my qualities will, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I'd rather not be in love than to what's the word I'm looking for? That to give up my values and my qualities. But the type, that's broad, yo. Anybody out there, tall, medium, big, whatever. As long as you're female, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, it's not that broad. It's not as long as you're female. And I have said I'm more of a body guy than a looks guy. I'm a body guy. I like a woman to be a woman, if you get what I'm saying. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Weigh in and be honest. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to question of the day. All right, this is a little bit of a weird question. I'm going to reclassify it, but the actual question is, how do you ask a dude you've been talking to for 3 months what his name is? Because I forgot. Now, who would be talking to somebody for 3 months and not know their name and get through 3 months without knowing their name? I think that's a little bit of a stretch. But let's, rejig that around, and somebody who you don't know and you don't talk to, but you've met a couple of times or you might see or whatever, but you don't remember their name. It could be a neighbor, associate, somebody at work, and you don't remember the name. What's a good way to ask them for their name? Now, this happens to me all the time because you guys know I am horrible with names, super bad. So I thought some of these were funny, okay? Somebody says, how do you spell your name? The regular way, or was your mama fancy? That's really smart. Love that. Another person said, you should stop talking to him because you're definitely not interested. Okay, that was to the original question. Another person said, just ask them to give them the correct spelling of your name to make sure it's stored right. It works every time. But that doesn't work if the guy's name is like Mike or the girl's name is like Susan. You know what I mean? Like, how many spelling? Well, yeah, you can't spell Mike any other way, or Bob. You know what I mean? Because you run into looking like a real fool if the person's name is Peter. Hey, what's the correct spelling of Peter? Bro, you're in trouble. My father called my mother baby for the whole first year because he couldn't remember her name. Lord. Another person says, just type his phone number into Zelle. Oh, I think that's that little app that will tell you whose phone number. Okay, there's a lot of people are just answering the original thing here. You got to have your friends ask. That's a cool thing. But then how do you introduce your friend? How does your friend ask the name if he's not introduced? But maybe you can ask your friend to do it before you introduce them. It's a cool way. Oh, this is really good. Take them to Starbucks. Let them ask. Yo, round of applause for that. Oh, that's so good. That's really good. That's really good. Flirt. Let him see your license, bae. Let me see. Oh, let me see your license. Let me see that picture. That would be a little bit weird, huh? Like, let me see your picture on your license. I guess you could kind of bring up like, oh my gosh, I just had to take my license picture or my passport picture. It was so bad. And hope they say, oh yeah, mine's bad too. It's like, oh yeah, let me see. That's a clever way. Just wait long enough until somebody calls his name. That's a couple of good ones. Somebody says, what do they call you at home? This happened to me a few times. Just say you're entering a contest or something and you need his full name. Somebody said, just call him Babe. That's hilarious. Somebody says he's not the one for you. Just block him, Babe. That's true. Like, how do you talk to a guy for three months? Come on, that's crazy. Anyways, let me know your answers below. You want to know what my answer is? I would never let it get to 3 months. I'm just such an honest person. I'll be like, I'm so sorry. I'm really bad with names. What's your name again? And the quicker you do it is the easier it is, right? So the second where I know that I forgot and I know I'm not going to remember, I just say it right there and then. Sorry. And you avoid all the embarrassment because you ask a silly question, or like I said, if it's a simple name, now the person doesn't trust you and feels like you're shady. And I don't want anybody to ever think that they can't trust me or I'm shady. So I'm just honest every time, all the time. Sorry, I totally forgot your name. What is it again? Oh, Susan, this is my friend, blah, blah, blah. Really simple. Just be honest. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to sports news. Now, depending on when you're watching this, Wednesday night, the Pacers are playing the Knicks. If it's Thursday morning, you already know the score. You already know what happened. But before we talk about that, let's talk about Minnesota Timberwolves versus OKC. Now, I hear a lot of people talking smack out there. Yes, the Wolves lost, okay? We'll take our L's. I said yesterday that OKC was going to win. They are on paper a better team. Because they went to a game 7 with Denver, I feel like they were a little bit more tuned and ready to go. Timberwolves had an easy series with the Warriors. Steph Curry went out in game 1, so it was kind of easy picking for them. They didn't have to. Basketball is a sport that needs rest, yes, but you need to be in a groove. And I feel like it might take them, a couple of games to get back in that groove, that competitive spirit, and have a well-oiled machine. I see some people like Stephen A. Smith that's saying, hey, it might be a wrap. This might be a blowout. We don't know what's going to happen. Da, da, da. Settle down, Stephen A. Wola. They were very good in the first half. I think it got to their head a little. They felt very comfortable, and OKC came back in the second half. It's just, everybody just relax. Even if they lose again in game 2, they're getting themselves warmed back up. Let them go back home. I still feel like it's going to be a good series. It will at least get to game 6, even game 7. And I still think that Minnesota could come out on top. I do think OKC will win, but I'm still going for the Wolves. Now, tonight's game, Pacers versus Knicks. I feel like even if Pacers do win or whatever, to me, Knicks will 100% win this series. I know Pacers is a good team. I really feel the momentum that the Knicks have and the hunger and the determination for the New York Knicks to make it into the finals, and just the fact for just the league, just for the finals, having the Knicks be there would be amazing. Now, Knicks versus OKC, be very hard for the Knicks to beat OKC, but I do feel definitely like Knicks will definitely win game 1 with the momentum that they have going in. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, y'all, that is it for today's show. It is a wrap. Thank you so much for kicking it with me. I hope you enjoyed the show. I thought it was fun. We got some Diddy news. We got some comments, some fun comments, some good questions. I thought the social discussion of the day was really good today. So thank you very much for kicking it with me. Thank you also again, Aura. Like I said, global out louders. We are working on something for you. For now, it is just U.S. residents. You guys, if you're interested, click the link below. It is free to sign up to make sure if any of your data has been exposed. I'll also put up the QR code once again. Thank you, Aura, for sponsoring the comment section and the out louders. And quickly before I wrap up, I mentioned this yesterday. Friday morning's episode, and if I do a Friday night bonus episode, they might be a little bit late. And it might be in a little different format. I have a little bit of traveling to do, but I will get it in. Even if it's not in the same format, it's not going to be in this studio. It's not going to be in this setup. Even if I have to do it literally with my cell phone, like, yo, what's going on, y'all, da-da-da-da, I will make sure and get you guys all your Diddy news and all your daily news. I know you guys depend on me to keep you up to date with everything what's going on. Just give me some grace. It might be a little bit late, but I will get it up. I don't care if it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I got you guys. Okay. So that was that. All right. Before I let you guys go, I just want to remind you of all the ways to keep up with the Trent Out Loud podcast. For my YouTubers, if you're ever going on a flight or going in a car and you do not have access to the internet, do not worry. We're available on all podcast platforms, and you could just download the show or episodes and take us with you. Okay. Just go to any podcast site, type in Trent Out Loud, the show will pop up. Don't forget to hit the follow and subscribe button so that you can be notified every time we upload a new show. And just like YouTube, we upload daily. I got you, man. Now, vice versa, for those who are used to listening to the Trent Out Loud podcast on podcast platforms and downloading, thank you very much for all the downloads. We appreciate you. Thank you. However, we definitely want you guys to come and hang out on YouTube. It's just a really fun experience out here, and the comment section is lit. All right, so come on over and enjoy the YouTube way. Head on over to YouTube, type in Trent Out Loud, the show will pop up. Couple of housekeeping rules. You got to hit that subscribe button to become an official Out Louder. You got to hit that like button. We got to get the algorithming. Please try to comment below. This is a podcast that I do with you guys. That's the only reason why I'm able to sit down here alone. I ask you guys questions. If you guys don't give me any feedback or comments, I'm talking to myself, and that's boring. All right. So please try to comment. I understand some people don't like getting into discussion. Totally understand that too. No pressure. Just if you can, hey Trent, liking the show, disagree with some things, whatever. Or just let me know where you're listening from. Hey Trent, listening from Australia. I love those comments. This is a global podcast, and I'd like to see where all you guys are at. Okay. If you're really enjoying the show, please try to share it with your family, friends, and loved ones, because it definitely helps in growing the channel. I appreciate y'all. For those of you who want to follow me outside of the podcast, I'm available on all social platforms, and it's always the same handle, Trent Out Loud. I'm the most active on Instagram. I post a lot of your comments in my stories over the weekend. You can check me out there. We also just started a blog page on Instagram, and the handle is Formally Out Loud, FORMALLY Out Loud, Formally Out Loud. And there we will put stories throughout the day, stories that we're going to cover here during the podcast. So if you want to get some advanced stories that we'll be talking about, you can find them out there. Also, we put the full edition of videos that we're playing, some things that we can't play on YouTube for copyright reasons, or the Cassie pictures, the Diddy raid pictures. We'll put them all over on Instagram. You guys can see them unedited over there. YouTube is very strict, all right? So we'll put it out over there. Thank you very much for kicking it with me. I'm very excited for tomorrow's Friday episode. I'll see y'all tomorrow, man. Peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trent Out Loud. Peace.